is then you got to find a place to put the bodies. And
that's why I watched Dexter, because it helps a lot to learn how to hide bodies.
Folks, this is Dash V with Retro Reload, and we were talking about totally legal activities, I promise. So with me today, I got a blast from the past.
I'm Jeremy, and I've been MIA because I started a new job and have been busy.
So I'm getting just a touch of echo there. Do you have the podcast or something open in a?
Nope, everything's good.
That's really interesting. So
just punching me for being gone for so long. Yeah, we're good on my end.
Okay. I'm still getting the echo. That's really weird. Now I don't get the echo, my friend. Echo's.
Now it's back.
Yeah.
It's weird. I should blame you for this whole situation.
Wow, hearing myself laugh, I don't like how I laugh.
Why not?
I just don't. I'm very insecure.
So Chris, I heard echo now too for me. That's weird.
You're getting echo too now?
No, not quit. That's weird. Anyway.
Hello? Yeah, I'm still getting echo. Darn it, I'm still getting echo.
It's probably just you right now. I'm just going to blame you for this whole situation.
That's mean.
So, I heard you got some presents last week while I was gone. What happened with that?
I did get some presents. I got De Societas was my...
That is from Zelda, right?
Secret Santa. Yep, and she got me this. This is Cloud Strife from The Legend of Zelda.
He's a great, good character.
He's a very good character, yes. Also, I got Fox McCloud from Star Fox.
Oh, yeah. And if I remember right, he shoots Nerfs out of his arm, right? Nerf guns or Nerf balls?
Yes.
Another great game.
I got Zero Time Dilemma.
Can you show it? Because I can't see it. There you go.
Right there, my friend.
It's still wrapped up.
So it's still, yep, this is new. And I got a Pitfall Canteen.
That's cool. It's actually one of my favorite games from Dari.
Yeah, so I was pretty happy. De Societas, if you are watching, thank you very much again. Really appreciate it. And for those that were wondering about all the antics and everything, the unwrap actually happened. A couple of us that are VG collectors from vgcollect.com, the forums there. Every year they do a Secret Santa. Soera actually runs and kind of manages the Secret Santa, but there's quite a few people there. T. Pugmire, who hasn't been on this show in a while because his schedule with work and stuff kind of changed. He was able to come on out though last week for the Secret Santa, so you can check that out. That's on the Our Parents Basement podcast. So I will go ahead and put a link to that down in the doodly doo, so that folks that are just tuning in, if you want to see myself, Tyler, and some of the folks from the old show, go ahead and watch us open up all those presents with some VG collectors that were also guests. It was a really great episode, really fun episode. Good to kind of get together and reminisce.
Are you taking the echo?
I am not continuing to echo.
Okay, because my friend texted me that the earpiece was too close to my mic and it picking up.
Oh my goodness. See, Jeremy, what in the world?
Jeff, good looking.
So thank you very much, Jeff.
Right now, actually.
Save the show.
See, Santa Matt's in there. Lizzie's friend from Korea is in there. Telly's in there. All in chat right now. So go visit the chat.
Oh yeah, the chat is jumping. We got Sam Demand.
My gaming buddies.
Fighters in the Christmas mood with that great camera. I don't know what that means. So Linnaeus says, hi, I'm the Korean friend of Lizzie. We remember you, Linnaeus, and we're very happy to see you on. Lizzie, unfortunately, is still out for a little bit. I think she's gonna be back. She might be back following the Christmas break there. So she's been.
We'll be on next week because of Christmas.
Yeah, we won't be on next week. We don't have a show at all next week because of Christmas and everything. Lizzie's recently started up a new job and things like that, so she's been trying to kind of figure out, schedule and that kind of stuff to make things work. So we're still hopeful that that can kind of work out. Tyler's had a similar situation where his work schedule kind of recently changed, and so the time of the show made it a little bit difficult for him. So we're not sure yet, folks, if we're going to be adjusting the time of the show or the frequency of the show to kind of compensate for these things. We're kind of talking it out in the back end, but I do want to let folks know we've heard you, loud and clear that you miss the Pugmire and that you miss Lizzie. So we're trying to see if there's any way that we can, maybe give them opportunities for newer appearances. So Linneas is saying that she's waiting on Christmas too. That's really awesome. Actually, I'm saying she. Linneas, are you the female friend of Lizzie that we're already familiar with, or are you a new friend? And I don't want to call you a she if you're not a she.
If I remember right.
It's a what?
Pretty sure it's a woman.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I'm wondering if it's the same person because I've never seen. This is the first time I've seen the name in English letters. Usually it was in different letters, right?
It's always been English for me.
Oh wow. Well, my Google Chats has been not as good to me then. Lister's mate, what's up there, my friend? In T West says he's listening to us while working on a final paper for class. So hey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. So why don't we just go ahead and jump into the show? First of all, Jeremy, it is really good to see you, man. It is really good to see you.
But so, I got my work all pat down, used to it, so ready to come back.
Very nice, very nice. So we don't really have any news items today, mainly because the news has been kind of slow because of Christmas and everything. Not really. Most things have been announced as releases and things like that, and things kind of usually die down the week before and the week of Christmas, which is, I think, kind of good. Like things get so hectic leading up to Christmas. It's nice to kind of have some time to decompress. But that said, I did have some purchases come in that kind of ticked me off, and one of them I already knew about, and so it really, like, that one didn't tick me off, but another one totally blindsided me, and then putting these two together and seeing where things are trending, it really ticked me off. So anybody that's been watching the show for any length of time knows how I feel about this device right here.
You love it, if I remember right.
You know what? I don't hate it, honestly. I don't hate the Nintendo Switch. I promise. I just do have some challenges with it. One of which being, I'm remembering, and the echo slightly back, by the way. So I remember us all being so excited with the games being available on cards.
Yes, the cards that taste wonderful from what I've heard.
Oh yeah, the cards taste awesome. So I remember us, being excited about it because, at least for me and for some of the folks that have been following us along, a lot of us tend to be retro gamers, and we're from the days when you could just pull out the card and pop it in the system and it plays. It seemed like, I know I at least breathed a sigh of relief when I read that this would accept cards and that the games would be available in cards as well as digital format. Unfortunately, what has seemed to be the trend, so I got LA Noire for the Switch because I want to be able to play a portable version of it. And you'll notice it says internet download required, micro SD may be required. So the complete game can't be run off the card. You actually have to do a digital download in order to get the other half of the content on the Switch. So, but I kind of already knew that. I read about it. I read that the game was bigger than the card that it was going to come with, and that it would require a download and all that other stuff. So that I was kind of okay with. But when I was looking to get Resident Evil Collection, right? What does this say to you, Jeremy? What does this say right here, my friend? It says,
camera's too blurry to you to see that.
It says, this says Resident Evil Collection, right?
Oh yeah. I thought you meant the top part where it says
right.
Nintendo
And
Switch.
now, if you look at the back, right, you get Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2, right?
Yes.
Let me show you what that actually means. What does this cartridge say, Jeremy? Can you read it? Can you make that out at all?
I got my internet set slower so I can actually stream the whole time.
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. This says Resident Evil Revelations, not Revelations 1 and 2, not collection. This is Resident Evil Revelations. This is just the first game on the card.
Nice.
If you want the second game,
Download it.
they give you, and I'm not going to flip it around, but they give you a card, which on the back of the card has a download code for the second game.
Can you take a picture and send it to my phone real quick?
No. So, yeah, really kind of irking me that, I'm buying the physical games. I mean, it's already been, we already saw what happened with Nintendo, in the Wii, the Wii U rather. That kind of had the opposite problem. There was a lot of DLC that never quite made it to the Nintendo Wii U, like some of the downloadable content for games like Never Alone, some of the downloadable content for games like, games like the Child of Light. A lot of these games, good games, but for whatever reason, DLC never arrived on the Wii U. Meanwhile, on the PlayStation and the Xbox platforms, a lot of games, even though they're having physical releases, the games aren't the full games on the discs. So you get the disc.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's a pain in the ass.
It's
I buy physical for a reason.
Oh no, exactly. So I was kind of feeling like, Nintendo was going to help us out and keep physical alive, going the card route. But then from what I'm seeing so far, they've gotten just as bad. So not only are the games more expensive on their system, because of the physical medium that they picked, but then it's just like with the other platforms, it's still not the full game, right? Like at some point in the future, I'm only going to be able to play Resident Evil Revelations 1 on my Switch, not both of them. So, yeah. So I made a post in VG Collect, and I asked folks what what can you think of any games this generation, and by this generation I mean Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or Nintendo Switch. Can anybody think of a game this generation that the physical copy is actually the full, no kidding, like that is it. There's no patches that make it playable, no fixes, no DLC. So you got one rugby.
Actually, yeah, it's shit. Like the one on PS3 was better.
Well, maybe that
game
needed.
No wonder it fit.
Yeah. So here's what I was expecting, right? I was expecting there had to be games that I overlooked that I didn't think about, because honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't think of a single game that was actually complete in its physical form. And I was expecting VG Collect, right? Like folks would, come up with stuff. Instead, what happened was a lot of folks replied back like, what does it matter? Patches are okay. Isn't this, like, what's the big deal? It was a very different conversation than if I had made that post, say, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was kind of, two things were kind of interesting. One, that even the Switch with its cartridge format that's more expensive, Nintendo is still not they're certainly not requiring, and they're not enforcing that the games come out be complete. So so it's just as pointless to get physical on the Switch as it is on any of the other platforms at this point.
So
so
I like to look up displays.
What was that?
I'm still buy physical because I like to look at my bookshelf and see all my games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn now, because especially with some of these things, it would make more sense to get the game in digital now, because if I don't have a final copy of it anyway, and there's no guarantee I'll be able to play it the right way without patches and downloads and stuff, I might as well, like with the Xbox titles, I might as well get the Xbox store version of it, and then I also get the Windows Play Anywhere copy for free.
Well, if you want, you gotta send me all your physicals. I don't mind.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is no, is like stop. I'm thinking of like no longer getting physical at all and just being like the hell with it.
Don't do it, Dash. Use logic. Don't use your emotions. Say yes to physical.
I don't know. So yeah, but I guess the thing that troubled me the most was just that people don't care anymore. People are totally fine with, digital only and things being incomplete and maybe getting better with patches or anything. Like nobody seems to really care about, the game being released, in a complete and properly functional state at the time of launch, which is totally different. I mean, the state of gaming right now would have been completely unacceptable 4 years ago.
I agree, but it's gonna happen. We saw it coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we did see it coming. Which comes to my shirt, right? No, you're right. Let's do it the dumbest way possible because that's easier for you. So that's what my shirt says. So Retro Sports Gamer says, I just want to say real quick, some folks from the chat. So I see Lizzie Hedgehog in the chat. Lizzie, is that really you? Are you there in the chat, my friend? Good to see you if so. And the Retro Sports Gamer says, I care, brother. I don't like that incomplete stuff. Thank you, Retro Sports Gamer. I 100% agree with you.
Oddly enough, I got a Retro Sports game playing in the background right now.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what you got going on. You had some pickups while you've been out, right? You got the
new
job.
PC Monday Night Football for the Super Nintendo, one of my favorite games. But now it's horrible. Now when I play it, but as a kid, I appreciated it.
It doesn't hold up.
No, not at all. No penalties, no pass interference. It's like, come on. So I bought this friend nephew, Pokemon Blue version, because he's not getting my copy.
Nice.
I send him my Pokemon games. So I bought a bunch of old games. Like I still need Battlefield Hardline just to complete the collection. Came in today. Haven't even put it in yet. Ghost Recon because my friends keep bugging me to play it. Also for PS4. It's actually pretty good. Rugby, unfortunately, was horrible. I just wanted to play the PS3 version, but this is like $5, so not a big deal. This also came in today. Rise.
Nice.
I've heard a lot of complaints about it because the whole, hit X, do this, and that's the whole game.
Really?
Yeah. No Man's Sky, because the multiplayer is actually finally getting released soon, supposedly. And to wrap it up, Yoshi's Woolly World also came in today.
Oh, for the Wii U?
Yeah. So I'm going to play that this week, hopefully, if I get a chance.
Nice. Did you see Turf in the on Our Parents' Basement last week in the VG Collect Secret Santa? One of his gifts was a complete Wii U.
Lucky. How'd that happen?
So I
just get that.
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say who his Secret Santa was, but yeah, they hooked him up ridiculous.
Just text me who it is so I can go kiss him. Give me a complete Wii U. I'm a good crazer. Don't worry.
So, folks, in the chat, go ahead and tell us while we're talking here. Go ahead and tell us, is there anything that you're really hoping to get this Christmas, in terms of gaming? Is there a console? Is there a game? Are you hoping to find an Xbox One X under the tree or something like that? Let us know in the chat. So, I know for me personally, Christmas is going to be kind of interesting. My wife is super excited that she's got some stuff that's really going to surprise me. I have a feeling it's gaming related, but that said, I'll be really impressed if she's able to get me stuff because I've already pretty much got everything I ever kid me ever wanted. And adult me kind of doesn't really want for a lot of things. So it'll be really interesting to see what she's so excited about, right? What she's so excited about. I got to tell you, I was excited as hell to get the Goomba. From De Societas. So I've been wanting a Goomba, especially a Goomba with the little feet. I just think that they look so adorable, and so hung them on the Christmas tree. So, but I took them off so I could show them on the show.
And the chat is popping like crazy tonight.
Yeah, the chat is popping. We got Turf 1218. T West pointed out that yes. So not only did Turf 1218, the son of a bitch, not only did he get a Wii U, but it even had a friggin' Pro controller that it came with.
All right, you got to tell me who it was. So I can go.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you in the private chat here who it was. I'm not sure if we're allowed to share, but it was yeah. So he's the one that you need to. He's the one that you need to whisper
Or
sweet love
she.
into his ear.
Away. So do you have any pickups this week or past month I haven't seen?
Did I have it? I've had a ton of pickups, but I don't think that I have any of them up here. So mainly what my pickups have been. My goodness, somebody's speeding over there on the other side. So my pickups have been mostly digital, believe it or not, and not because I've given up on physical yet or anything like that. Although I'm really getting close, but mainly because Microsoft has been having some ridiculously good sales on their Microsoft Store on older Xbox Live Arcade and 360 titles. So I've been picking up games like DuckTales Remastered for like $3. Backward compatible, right? So I have it on the Wii U, but that's no longer hooked up anymore. So my TV only has 3 HDMI inputs. So I've got the PlayStation 4. Oh, you lucky son of a gun. Jeremy says that he has 4. So mine only has 3. So I have the Xbox One X hooked in. I've got the PlayStation 4 hooked in, and then I've still got the PlayStation 3. And I mentioned this before on the last show. Interestingly enough, it's going to be the Xbox One X that allows me to unplug my PlayStation 3, because so far I've got almost all my PlayStation games repurchased in digital because I found them for $5 or less during different sales the past 2 months on Xbox Store. And so games like Double Dragon Neon, games like DuckTales Remastered, games like Beyond Good and Evil HD, I've been able to repurchase and have work on my Xbox One through backward compatibility. So it's actually going to be Microsoft that lets me get rid of last generation of Sony, which is kind of weird.
The Retro Sports Gamer said you picked up more That's So Raven. Damn, how did he know? That's supposed to be a secret. By the way, if you want to add more systems, I know a really good switcher, HDMI switcher you should use. I use 2 of them.
Oh, definitely. What one? Do you know the brand off the top of your head? Can you share with our viewers?
Crap. They're right here, but I have 2 of them, so they're 5 HDMI. So
crap! I never heard of the crap HDMI switcher.
Look it up for quick. It's on Amazon. Because
while you're looking that up, I'll do some of the stuff in the chat. So Retro Sports Gamer says that he's hoping for a Polymega. Turf is saying that he's hoping for Switch stuff. Lizzie said that she wants Marvel versus Capcom. So let's see, what else did folks say that they want here. Turf is saying he would take Cannon Spike for the Dreamcast. So Linnea says that she wants Drawing Everyone from Animal version. I don't know what that means.
Maybe she wants to draw us, maybe? What the heck is it?
Like maybe she wants a picture of us as drawn as if we were in Animal Crossing, the game.
That'd be interesting. Let's see if I can find this, because I can't find it right
now.
So
yeah, Lizzie says she's waiting for that new Mega Man game. She's talking about Mega Man 11, which got announced. That's really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to that too. I've actually been playing through. I forgot about that. So 2 of the things that I picked up in digital because they were on sale. I picked up the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 for the Xbox and Xbox One. And already I've beaten Mega Man 1, and I'm at the last stage where you're gonna meet Dr. Wily for Mega Man 2. So my goal is, because I've never actually done this, I've beaten the first one, the second one, and the third one, but that was as far as I went in the series on the Nintendo. So I'm actually going to try to beat every single Mega Man game one after the other, and I'm actually recording clips on my Xbox of me playing through different parts. So you guys can look forward to when I at least finish Mega Man Legacy Collection, the first one. I'm going to go ahead and post some of my, not the whole thing, but I'll post some highlights from different parts of beating the game, along with my thoughts on Mega Man as a series and that kind of thing, kind of leading up to the release of Mega Man 11. So yeah, so it's been really good. And the other thing too that's been really neat is that Mega Man is a really great way to test display lag. My old TV before I got my current TV that I have, my old TV was really awful. Like I thought that I was just so terrible at some of these older games, playing them on my Retron 5 or playing them on my, playing things like Disney Afternoon, on my older TV until I got a newer TV with much lower display lag. And then I realized it was just, I wasn't quite as bad as I thought I was at them. I just needed to have a properly reacting TV. So Mega Man is definitely one of those games. You'll be almost passable, and then you'll get to a part with like the disappearing, reappearing blocks or something, and it just becomes impossible. Or the timing of the jumping and the shooting, to kind of navigate through the projectiles that a boss shoots at you and be able to get a couple rounds off before they get to their invulnerable phase. You just can't do it on a display that's got, even I'd say 20 milliseconds or more of lag. So, to me now, the true test of a TV is, can I beat a Mega Man game on it? If I could do that, then it's good display lag wise. So that or a pinball game. Pinball FX is another pickup I had recently. Pinball FX is great. They've got a Back to the Future table. They've got an ET table. There's a Portal table. And I've just been having a blast with Pinball FX3, both on the Switch, which is pretty good, as well as on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I can find an HDMI switch. I guess they don't sell anymore. I'll try to take a picture later for it.
No, darn it. I hate when it's like, oh, I got the best thing, and like they don't sell it anymore.
Yeah, maybe let's take out a new brand. I'll have to look at that.
So Lizzie says Mega Man 2 Quick Man stage is a pain. Lizzie, I agree with that. The trick to the Quick Man stage is that you have to have first, who is it? Is it Flashman? I think it's Flashman. You have to first beat him and get the stopwatch. And when you get to the part where all the fire, all the different fire beams kind of come across, if you're really on the ball, you can kind of make it through there. But you got to pick on the screen above which direction you're going to fall, how you're going to fall, and if you don't do it just right, you're kind of done. You're not going to make it through. Way easier is just use the stopwatch. None of those will even come out, and you can just fall all the way through and then get down to the bottom. The downside of that is the stopwatch is actually one of Quick Man's weaknesses. If you actually activate the stopwatch during the Quick Man fight, he actually just loses energy the entire time that he can't move. So if you've already used it up, like what I do actually for Quick Man, I use the stopwatch to get through the fire parts, the fire beams that kind of come from the left and right side of the screens. And then when I get to Quick Man, I take him out with the airman weapon. He's vulnerable against that. I think 3-4 hits with that and he's done. So those are some tips that might help you out there. So yeah, otherwise you're right. You got to be quick as Sonic. So Retro Sports Gamer wants to know if I have any beers in the mini fridge. Well, since I'm a Mormon, unfortunately, no. If I did have beers, they'd be root beers, but no such. This is going to be bad, but I actually have no idea. I don't remember what's in that fridge.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it might just be empty, right?
Well, go look real quick. Let's find out.
All right, you guys. What do you think? Will I survive? Will I make it back?
There's like an old lunch in there somewhere.
All right. It's empty. Empty.
So, no beers, guys. Sorry.
Strawberry peach jam.
Strawberry peach jam. Interesting.
Yeah. So that was anticlimactic, I guess. But hey, at least you know that the background is my real actual place. You know that this isn't like an elaborate, JPEG background behind me.
You ate that strawberry jam.
Oh man, the strawberry, it's frozen because it was in the freezer, but yeah. I'm sure it's good. I love Christmas because, like, does anybody else here get the eggnog shakes? I really like the eggnog shakes that you can get at McDonald's.
Too fattening, too much sugar.
Retro Sports Gamer says, thanks for checking. You know what? RSG, I am here for you. So is there anything else? Can I get you, like, I don't know, pizza or something?
Guess salami.
So how's it feel, Mr. Moneybags, to be going out and grabbing all these pickups and all that stuff?
Oh, now it's like when I was unemployed. I'm broke again. More days though. Right now I got Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Silver coming in.
Yeah.
Each paycheck I want to buy a couple Pokemon games to have a tight collection. So that's my goal for next year. Also to get the bigger battery for the Wii U, and I'm gonna expand my PS4 hard drive to 2 terabytes.
Oh, that's gonna be really helpful, I think.
Yeah, because I run out of space. I have
with all those games you're getting.
I got 30 PS4 games, so yeah, I run out of space quick.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I won't even tell you. Do you want to know how many Xbox One games I have?
30.
Guess. Okay, you guess 30. What do the folks in the chat guess? Guess how many games I have.
I can get the answer just easily though.
You can't cheat.
I'll tell them.
Well, actually, no. Actually, you could try to cheat. You could try to go to VG Collect and look at my catalog, but I'm counting physical as well as digital games.
You don't count your digitals?
All right. Lizzie Hedgehog says 45.
Interesting. That's close. But that's probably no digitals.
RSG says Redbeard Gamer must have been playing some Wii Fit. Dude is looking good.
A little bit.
Lister's mate guess is 42 games.
So what is it?
You guys aren't even gonna believe it. You guys aren't even gonna believe it.
You try to figure it out. So what is it?
What is it? I'm waiting. There's one or two more folks that haven't checked in. I'm gonna let them check in.
Okay. Y'all have to check in. We'll wait all night, guys.
Linus says that they have news. They're changing their nickname. What are you changing your nickname to? Lizzie, you bet 45 already. You can't change it now.
Yeah.
Dashby has to have the most games on this show.
I think he does actually. And probably Tyler.
Tyler might have more than me. I don't have more than the Flea. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
That guy, the Flea from VG Collect, has like over 10,000 games. Like, yeah, it's insane the number of games that he has.
Let's see what Pokemon is.
You're right, Lister. I don't have 3.14159 and whatever the rest of pi is.
Yeah, you have more than Tyler.
Linus is changing her name to Sonia. Very nice. Very nice. Like Mortal Kombat, Sonia? All right. So Retro Sports Gamer says 76. Okay, folks. All right. I have 92 games on the Xbox One. Yes. 92 games. And so you can kind of see, like, to put it in context, when somebody tries to make a case that there's no good games on the Xbox One, like, you can kind of see where I'm like, I have to call bullshit. I can't help but call bullshit. And yes, granted, some of those are multi-plats, right? A bunch of those are multi-platform games.
Okay, you probably got multi-plats going.
I would say a good, I would say half of them are games that are backward compatible, that you can't bring into this generation of PlayStation. So that's half of my games is backward compatible stuff. The other half of my games is a combination of, multi-platforms and exclusives. I'd say probably about 15 to 20% of my collection on Xbox is Xbox platform exclusives. So games like Gears of War, games like Forza, games like Ori and the Blind Forest, Quantum Break, things like that. So, folks, when they say that, Xbox has no exclusives, again, they just don't know what they're talking about. There's different exclusives, to be sure. And
yeah, I'm all about the exclusives with Xbox One. Since PS4 is my primary system.
Oh yeah. And so, like, now for PlayStation, I think on PlayStation, it doesn't do a nice convenient count up at the top. So I have to kind of wing it here. I'm going to say for PlayStation, I think I have probably at least 100 games. PlayStation 4, that is.
Great catch up.
So yeah, I mean, why, like, this Christmas season, right? Like, I want Xbox players, and I want Nintendo Switch players, and
To
I want
fight it out.
PlayStation players
Oh,
to
man.
fight to the friggin' death over meaningless shit. Like,
That's
how
how I
many?
like my gaming.
No. I want you all to join hands and sing along, your favorite Christmas carol. So, because at the end of the day, I think that any game that's good that hasn't been played, I think that that's kind of a tragedy. If you're missing out on a game because you kind of like just really adore one platform versus the other, you really are missing out on some really good experiences in either direction. So, I would encourage you to, always consider maybe stepping outside your comfort zone. I think a great example, is the Genesis versus Nintendo, wars from way back when. I mean, there's a lot of games that at the time, I think most of us could only afford to have one console. And so you picked a side and you pretty much stuck to that side. But a lot of us going back in retro gaming, I know very few people that get into collecting for one system that don't inevitably end up collecting for another system.
First rapid B. It's like, well, let me go with this. Let me go with that. And then now I got all these consoles.
Oh yeah, how many consoles do you have? You think?
16. Soon to be 17 with the Switch.
Yeah.
And
Well, now I know it's really
handheld.
Lizzie in the chat. Now I know it's really Lizzie in the chat. You see her comment to me?
Look at it right now. Yeah, it's Lizzie.
Yeah, that's definitely Lizzie. She says my punk ass can't make her get the Xbox. That is totally fine. Lizzie, you're already pretty diverse though, right? Like, you have a PlayStation and you have a Nintendo. I think you have a Nintendo Switch, don't you? Or a 3DS. I know you at least have a 3DS. So you're already toe in the water of other platforms and stuff. So I think that counts. But Jeremy, you were saying how many consoles you have?
16 and I'd say about 8 handhelds. That's because I just pretty much have the original Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy SP Advance, because it covers the color. So that's why I try to cover all of them.
Oh wow! Is there anything in particular that you're looking for, like you're really hoping that you get this Christmas to kind of flesh out the collection? Or
No one's gonna buy me gaming related stuff.
No?
I told most people that they asked me, like, "What do you want?" I was like, "PlayStation Plus for a year." So I figure 3 people give me, I stack it for 3 years.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And you'll get games through PlayStation Plus. So
Exactly.
yeah, nice.
So I'll spend $60 for a couple of years. Which I can go put towards games.
Sonia says that she wants a Nintendo Switch, but she doesn't have money.
Well,
I know the
sometime next year we'll have a special story about how I got my Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the special story. You guys are gonna like the special story. It's gonna catch you in the feels, guys. So, Retro Sports Gamer says he just picked up a 32X, but he only has one game, NBA Jam TE. What should be my second game? Well, I also have NBA Jam TE for the 32X, my friend. That's a good game. I would say
I don't know much about the 32X. I can help you there.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty much. That's another one like the Xbox One X. Pretty much the only one saying that the 32X is crap are people that haven't really played it, because I have yet to actually play a bad game on the 32X. And we had G to the Next Level on the show several shows ago. I think it was like sometime middle of this year, like in the summer or something. And he was talking about he's a big Sega fan, has a huge collection of Sega Genesis games, including 32X games. I think he almost has a complete box set of 32X games, if it's not already complete. And I asked him, I said, you've got nearly every 32X game out there. Is there a bad 32X game? And he said, there's a couple, but off the top of my head, I can't remember them. And so it's a small library of games. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of market penetration for the add-on itself. But the games look amazing. So I would definitely recommend, getting yourself a copy of Doom. Get yourself a copy of Afterburner. Those are really, really, really good games. on the 32X. But in general, I don't really think you can go wrong with a 32X game. So if it were me, I'd pick up Doom or Afterburner next. But if you can find Blackthorn, the definitive version of Blackthorn is actually on the 32X. There's actually levels on that version that never made it to any other version of Blackthorn. That said, that game fetches a very high price. I think it's up over $100, possibly over $200 right now. It's kind of insane.
Now, if you want a console with a lot of bad games or inappropriate games, the Atari 2600 has plenty of those. Just look at some of Atari's bad games. You'd be like, wow, that was legal.
Yeah.
That was okay back then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'd also say, I want to point out that if you get a, I don't think I have it up here. Oh, actually, I do. Do I? No, I don't see it. If you get the Mega EverDrive, which you can get at Stone Age Gamer, it's a cartridge that you plug into your Genesis or into your 32X that actually has, it takes SD cards. And so you can put your legitimately acquired games, you can put the ROMs on your SD card and you can run them all off of there. So the point being, that also works with the 32X. You still have to have the 32X attachment, but if you have the 32X attachment in your Genesis and then you plug in the Mega EverDrive, if you have 32X ROMs on there, they will play. So if you wanted to try out, Blackthorn, and you're able to get yourself a copy of the ROMs from some
Legally, of course.
some legitimate source, like maybe a friend that happens to have a $200 rare game, they come over and they play. Yeah. So you have Doom on the Jag. Okay.
Someone wants to know what we want for Christmas.
Who wants to know?
Of course, Sonia.
Oh, you want world peace, Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
So what you already said though, legit though, you said that you wanted a PlayStation Plus, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to choose between world peace and PlayStation Plus,
of course, world peace. PlayStation
Plus. That's what I thought. So in terms of what I want for Christmas, I'll honestly say this. Somebody did something. I'm going to do a shout out today that I actually hadn't even planned this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a shout out. I don't think that they're watching the show. So, and I don't think that they necessarily did this for the shout out, but Dave Voiles, who he works for Microsoft, I think. I don't remember where or for what capacity he works with Microsoft, but Dave Voiles works for Microsoft. He's a huge fan of old full motion video games like Night Trap and Double Switch and things like that. It was his birthday, I think, about a week ago. And one of the things that he did that I thought was really cool was for his birthday, he told folks, don't get me anything. But if you had considered getting me anything, instead, donate money to this cause. And the cause that he was asking people to donate money for it's this group that actually they provide game consoles and games to kids that are in the hospital. And I thought that was just so amazing. And what was really cool is he asked people, hey, just give me that, or contribute to this place. And there was like a Facebook link where you could like donate, and it went to the fund and everything. And then he was for his birthday, he was gonna match people's donations. And then even better, Microsoft was gonna match whatever his donations were. So I just thought that was amazing. I thought that was really cool that like on his birthday, especially during like a holiday season, like he made it about like other people, and even to the point of like, typically we think about getting something on our birthday or something, but he's like, no, like give to this, and I'm going to give to it, and my employer is going to give to it. So I would say this Christmas, right? Like what I would like, kind of in the vein of world peace, only more actionable, is I would like folks to think about ways, doesn't have to necessarily be money, but think about ways that you can make your part of the world a bit of a better place. Whether it's supporting a charity or whether it's helping out your neighbor by, shoveling their walkway or something. I have plenty. I don't really need anything more. what I would really love to see is I'd love to see neighbors helping neighbors. I'd love to see people, helping other people. Um, and they don't have to be in big giant gesture ways, but like Dave really just inspired the hell out of me. I was like, wow, that is really great. Instead of me spending all this time thinking like, oh, I've already got this and this, like what else could I want? Like how vain is that? Like instead I could just be like, you know what, I don't really need anything at this point. Like why don't I just, see if I can kind of inspire other people to give. I thought it was a great thing. So that would be my Christmas wish. Would be that our viewers would find a way to make their respective areas a little bit better, a little bit nicer, a little bit friendlier.
My birthday's coming up.
Jeremy's like, all right, send all the games that you're gonna give Chris my way. Enough with this hippie. We are the world crap.
I'll just say because no one buys me birthday presents because it's December 26th. Everyone's got money.
Oh, your birthday is December 26th?
Yeah, so like no one got money.
Dude, that is harsh.
Or there'd be like one gift for both birthday and Christmas. So it's like really.
Right. And the worst is when like the gift is not necessarily any bigger, right? Like it's like, dude, seriously, this like bundle of underwear that's Christmas and birthday. Thanks. That's awesome.
This is December 27th, so they'll get us the same gift in different colors.
Your brother's birthday?
Yeah, I was born December 26th, 1988. He's born December 27th, 1989. Sorry, 1 year, 1 day apart.
My goodness. So we know what's going on in March in your household.
After St. Patrick's Day, or on St. Patrick's Day.
9 months later. My goodness. So
East Coast Side show, they split off to my parents' basement. Actually, is Dirk still in the chat? I don't think so.
So, yeah. RSG says, whatever happened to the East Coast Side? Yeah. So, just like Jeremy said, we used to have some folks that have been watching us for a while knew that there was like an East Coast show and a West Coast show, and we were the West Coast show. The East Coast show had a really great time together. They connected really well, and they decided that they want to cover more than gaming, which I think was really a good idea. And so they spun off their own show and started up. It's called Our Parents' Basement. You can check them out on YouTube. You can also look them up on Facebook. They also have a Twitter, and they also have they're on iTunes as well. You can look them up they're a legit podcast. So
Except for that Charles guy. I don't trust that guy. He's a
Mr. Nikon.
Yeah, he's a Bears fan, so you can't trust someone.
He's a great guy. I love that whole crew. It's a bunch of great folks. Lizzie said, speaking of great folks, Lizzie said that she gives some of her paychecks to the Houston Food Bank because due to Hurricane Harvey, there in Texas, things have still been a mess. So, that's one way that you guys could definitely think about how you might be able to help. I think sometimes what happens is, a hurricane happens or a major event happens, and there's a whole bunch of media buzz on it for like immediately when it happens. And then, the media moves on, but some of these places still end up pretty hard hit. So that's another thing you could do is just Google for different relief funds and see
There's also
folks are still in
the California fires. There's a lot of people's houses got burned down here last week or 2 weeks ago. The Thomas fire and all the other fires.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing.
Like 5 different fires. It's crazy.
It's been amazing how many fires there's been, considering that we finally started getting rain. Right, I was terrified the entire.
We're not getting rain down here. Really.
Retro Sports Gamer asks, Our Parents' Basement. Hope they didn't get into politics with the show. No, they didn't get into politics. It's mostly like everything in geek culture. So they'll talk about comics, they'll talk about music, they'll talk about sports, they'll talk about movies. So it's really, if you liked hearing what they talked about gaming related, I think you'll like what they're talking about, just general.
It's more like a nerd show culture thing.
Yeah, it's more like a nerd / geek culture thing, but you can trust us because we were nerds and geeks before it was fashionable. So, although I have to say, Jeremy, when you just did that chug, I was showing a friend of mine the episode a couple episodes back when we both ate the
Oh god,
Reapers.
that's actually my last episode too. That's the funny part about
That
that.
was the last episode. So
Every cat that I died.
so man, like I didn't realize during the show because I was just trying not to die from the peppers myself. But you were in some friggin' legit pain, weren't you?
Well, I don't drink milk because of dairy. I only drink water. Water doesn't really help, so I'll just pound
Oh,
water the whole time.
it was not. You're like chewing ice. You're like pounding water. Like,
And I'm puking away because I drank too much water.
oh man, that was pretty rough. So Sonia says she needs to go. She has a test, but she did not study. Well, Sonia, we wish you help from whatever powers you may believe in your test. So thank you for listening into us. Hopefully there's something on the show about whether or not Resident Evil Collections contains both games. If so, I think you're going to totally nail that question. The answer is no. So that said, I do want to point out what I think are some really good Switch games. So you guys might want to think about some of these games if you're looking for something to play. I already mentioned Pinball FX. I'm just finishing up I Am Setsuna. There's a really good game called Rive Ultimate Edition. And it's kind of like it's like a Blaster Master meets R-Type game. So it's really good. There's parts of it where it is a platformer. There's parts of it where it's 0G, zero gravity, and you're just it's a shmup. Really good game. Another one is called Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive. And one of the things that was really interesting about this game, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive, the graphics, the title screen, the intro, the art style is incredibly reminiscent of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. So the gameplay is not exactly the same. They have a foreground and a background, and you can kind of jump between foreground to background as you beat people up. But you can't walk like up and down the full width like Double Dragon style. So you can go left and right, and you can jump from the foreground to the background to fight people. So the actual gameplay mechanics are very different from Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but the graphics and everything you can tell are like, I mean, it almost looks like somebody just reskinned Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
RSG is asking when's the multiplayer. Actually, I looked up the other day. It's sometime next year. The multiplayer and all that.
Oh, for the Switch.
Yeah, that's really big.
Nintendo's being super tight-lipped about that. We still don't know an exact date for the multiplayer. We still don't know an exact date for the.
What pisses me off is, oh, you need to download an app to communicate. It's like, really? Like, we've had that since last generation. You should be able to just plug it to your mic and talk to people.
Right. I think that the other problem there though is the lack of the virtual console. I think that's really hurting the Wii. Or the Switch rather. I keep calling it the Wii U, but I still feel like it's the Wii U part 2. But
Mario Odyssey. Did you get Mario Odyssey yet?
I do not have that. However, Tyler Pugmire says that is an excellent game, and I think Turf also had some things to say about it. I do have Sonic Mania on the Switch. You might notice the games, the game selection that I have for the Switch. If you notice, two exceptions, I guess, would be Resident Evil Collections and LA Noire. Most of the games that I'm getting for the Switch, I'm getting on the basis of whether or not I want to be able to play it in portable form. And, trying to figure out if I can get, there we go. There's certain games that I think lend themselves well to a portable form. Games like Pinball FX, games like I Am Setsuna, pretty much any RPG, I think is more, my time and availability bound, then I'm not really too worried about the graphics. Zelda Breath of the Wild is obviously a platform exclusive, but then other games like Lost Sphere, Blaster Master Zero, Mighty Gun Volt Burst. There's games that really do kind of well on the Switch. I'm not really a big fan of like playing a more expensive, choppier frame rate and less graphically intense version of Doom. I just, that has like zero interest to me.
Wow, that
Plus,
sounds exciting.
well, plus, I'm starting to get to that magical age now where, like, if I play a 3D game on like a bus or whatever, right, I'm gonna end up tossing my cookies all over said bus. So, yeah, I can't play Doom on a bus. The bus moves this way and I move this way. I lose it. So, yeah. So LA Noire was more of a, um, I ended up buying both versions. I actually have the Xbox One X version of this, so I can play it in 4K. But this is just in case I never get around to that one. So Resident Evil Collections, I was able to justify because this is actually a remaster of a 3DS game, the original game. So the graphics are not going to push the Switch to its limits by any means. I think Resident Evil Collections 2, there was some improvement to the graphics, but still definitely not like there's no need for me to have this in a 4K version or even a 1080p version. I can deal with 720p on the Switch. But I guess that's the good and the bad, right? Like I'm buying games for the Switch. There's games that I enjoy on the Switch, but as a next gen console, I really don't take it seriously. So if I consider it to be a quote unquote next gen game, I'm not buying it on the Switch. Right?
That's it here. It's going to PlayStation or Xbox.
What was that?
If I buy next gen, if it the other systems have it, I'm gonna buy it for the other systems. So I'm not gonna buy it for the Switch.
Oh yeah. You're gonna get it cheaper on the other systems, and it's gonna look better. Absolutely.
That's like I have 11 games on my Nintendo Switch wish list. That's it.
11 games on the Switch.
For my wish list. That's it.
Oh, well, that might actually be equivalent to how many games I actually have. Let me count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if I don't count the demos, I literally just have 10 games for the Switch.
Okay, yeah.
If I don't count the demos.
Actually, it's sad because I saw a game that I learned how it's terrible.
So I do think that if you're able to find a Switch on store shelves and everything, I do think that is a worthy Christmas gift to either get or to receive. I said all this year that I think 2018 is going to be a great year for the Switch. I still do believe that. I think the Xbox and I think the Switch are going to have really strong years. I think the PlayStation is going to have a strong year too, but I think that the PlayStation's strong year is going to be marred by. I don't think it's going to be as much of a give me to Sony this year as it was this year, meaning 2018, as it was for 2017. I think the Xbox One X is really wooing developers. They're definitely, they're jumping forward in droves and taking advantage of the platform. So I think that there's going to be a lot of folks, rightfully saying that, if it's a multi-platform game, and I'm already seeing this in different reviews, for a lot of the multi-platform games, the definitive edition is now on the Xbox One X, which is exactly what Microsoft wanted. So, yes, there'll still be some exclusives. Last of Us 2, Detroit Become Human, Shadow of the Colossus, the third remaster of that game. Those games are definitely going to be, only on Sony, and they're going to look their best on the PlayStation Pro. But there's still going to be plenty to do on the Xbox One X. So.
And don't forget Ace Combat next year. That'll come out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're going to be flipping out if that doesn't happen, right?
The worst part, I'm working now, so it's like I got limited time to play it so many times a day. I had to take a week off work. Like, oh, someone died in the family. Who? Grandma? I know she died last week. Oh yeah.
Lizzie says that 2018 is going to be the year of Mega Man. I think so. I think you're right, Lizzie. It's going to be really good. And I have to say that I was really impressed with Mega Man Legacy Collection. I thought that they did a really good job emulating the games and reproducing it. And like I said, on the right TV, they definitely did it justice. I know there were some issues with some previous ports to other platforms having glitchiness and slowdown and that kind of stuff. And in these games, the slowdown is only where the slowdown was in the original game. So.
Just wrap it up. I gotta go a bit early.
Yeah, we should. Sports Gamer says times are tough for a sports gamer. Modern sports games are not fun. No variety like the old days.
Terrible. The PS3 version is way better. Better graphics and everything.
Yeah, he says he seems to think. And what are your thoughts on this, Jeremy? Retro Sports Gamer says that he thinks that where they're falling down is that they are all assuming everyone wants extreme realism.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while now. It's like, I kind of miss the arcade style, like, more relaxed. Now you look play Madden, it's too realistic, like, man coverage, oh, it's too hard, or yeah, I'm not that good at sport games. I kind of want a relaxed experience.
Nice,
That's
nice.
too realistic.
I'm kind of similar, right? Like I have yet to play like an actual quote basketball game. The closest is NBA Jam. I love NBA Jam. I think that that's a really great game, and I have a lot of fun with it. I don't really know. I mean, I know like the basics about basketball, but I'm not, I'm not like I wouldn't say I don't hate it, but I'm also not like a huge fan. I can appreciate a good game, but I don't feel like playing it myself, and I definitely don't want to play a simulated version of it that is like
that's how I was like, I want to
accurate.
try to be accurate as hell.
Oh yeah, I much prefer the swinging elbows, the giant, the giant heads, the he's on fire and shattering the rim, and the boom shakalaka. That's more my basketball.
And
My basketball.
yeah. It'll catch on if the sales go down. Like, oh, we shouldn't make it so freaking realistic. I like watching the game.
Yeah.
I don't want the graphics to be like that, but the gameplay, come on.
Yeah, and I think one of the last versions of Madden for the Wii U had an arcade mode.
See, that'd be nice.
So, or not for the Wii U. I think I said Wii U. I meant for the Wii. One of the last Madden games for the Wii had an arcade mode, which I thought was really, really good. I enjoyed the arcade mode. I really couldn't get behind the regular Madden games, like all the plays and there's just too much going on. It's like I don't want to play a game where I feel like I'm at work, I guess. So so problem is the kids don't know any better. Yeah. Well, I think that gaming definitely is changing in some ways, right? Like we mentioned at the start of the show. A couple years ago, right, it would have been total bullshit. People would have been completely pissed off that this only actually comes with one of the games that's on the front and back cover. But nowadays people are like, so what? It's digital. Who cares? Like, don't you have an internet connection? It's like, it's kind of not the point. So, but we'll see. I mean, things can definitely, things can definitely change. I think something that gives me kind of hope is even though a lot of stuff has moved to digital, Microsoft's verbiage regarding the Xbox platform, they've said numerous times, they've been saying all this year, basically that in their mind, the age of console generations is over, at least as far as Microsoft is concerned. They're dropping strong hints and using very strong verbiage that their plan now is to perpetually move incrementally forward with significant and meaningful leaps in technology and capability, but those leaps not abandoning your previous investments in software, which I feel personally is the way that it should have always been. I think the main reason that Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray are able to be successful is because both of those can still play all the previous gen. A 4K Blu-ray player can play 1080p Blu-ray and can play DVD, and a Blu-ray player can play DVD. I think if you were to instantly tell somebody your entire movie library is invalid, which they already tried to do when they went from VHS to DVD, that took almost a decade for DVD to really take hold, versus Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray has taken hold almost overnight. Like, it's kind of shocked the studios how quickly people have jumped to 4K Blu-ray. But go figure, when you don't render their entire collection obsolete, people are more willing to adopt the new technology. I could have friggin' told you that without a market study. I could have told you that without.
I remember the whole VHS DVD transition. People were like, flip it out. Like, I remember prices. If I tried a DVD player was not cheap when it first came out. My dad bought one. Now it's like, oh, $50 I can get one.
Yeah. So, price being a driver, and what had to happen, right? Like, the price had to get so cheap, and that it had to kind of become a no-brainer, because you're asking people, like, you can't use any of your previous investment. So things can still change.
We're used to that, though. As retro gamers, we're used to that, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So what'll be really interesting is to see if Nintendo or if Microsoft stays true to what they're saying, right? If Microsoft really does stay true to what they're saying, then I don't really
Video
have a
games, about
problem.
money. If they're not making money, they're gonna go make another console.
Or if they
Guaranteed.
or if they sell the division or something like that, right? Or if
Yeah.
they merge with somebody. So
Or
not that
just
I think Microsoft would merge, but I think that they might sell off, right? There was a past where Phil Spencer has actually talked about the change that's happened, right? Because one could almost say 2 years ago, especially like early this year, like the Xbox was definitely very anemic. Like it was flailing. It was having some serious problems. And Phil, without coming out and throwing right his immediate report to right the head of Microsoft under the bus, basically said, "Hey, look, here's the deal. I wanted to invest more in backward compatibility. I wanted to invest more in better hardware, better this, better that. But we really weren't taken seriously by Microsoft. We weren't seen as a major revenue generator potential. We weren't seen as a serious market." And he lobbied hard for over a year that like this is a serious market. Like the only reason that we're not successful is because we're half-assing it. I don't think he said it exactly those words, but he basically said, look, we're handing Sony this market because we're not really in it to win it. And if we want, if we want to make money from the Xbox division, we need to change that. And everything about this year with Microsoft has just been changed. Has been changed to giving the gamer what they want, give them back their library.
Multi-billion-dollar industry. It's money to be made. Everybody's a gamer nowadays. It's no longer just nerds playing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he knew that. And so he fought hard, for it. So I think that, certainly developers have been doing a lot of work and that kind of stuff, but a lot of this backward compatibility stuff, a lot of folks don't know it, but many of these backward compatible games that are coming out, the original studios aren't involved in a bunch of them. A lot of it's literally like Microsoft. They have a team now that's sole purpose in life is to make the older games play on the new hardware. And when they,
which it should be like that for the start for both systems, for everybody's systems.
I would agree. And so I really feel like Microsoft. I keep saying Nintendo. I really feel like Microsoft is making good on their promise, and I really feel like they're trying to be, the platform that they weren't initially. And I don't think it's going to save them with this, quote round. But I do think that they're going to make a hell of a comeback, and I do think this is going to position them well for the next round.
The foot when the Xbox One first got announced, like, oh, it's got to be a light. You can't buy used games. You got to have the Connect. It's like you cut yourself in the foot. That's why I buy it for years. It's for that exact reason.
Yeah, and they kind of limped along, but I think what's going to be really interesting is if it would be interesting to see if the PlayStation 5 is backward compatible.
Retro Sports Gamer wants to know, can you stream backwards compatibility Xbox games directly from the console? I think you could.
Yes, you can. You can stream them. You can record them. Yeah, all that functionality works. In fact, in some of these games, if the servers are still up, some of the games you can actually still even play online, like the Halo games from 360. So you can be on your Xbox One or your Xbox One X and play a Halo game against somebody on their Xbox.
We're supposed to do a show like that. Me and you get our Xbox Ones and play together a game, and try to ship it to the show.
Yeah, so it is.
A while back.
Yeah. So another cool thing that maybe you didn't know about Retro Sports Gamer is that the backward compatibility is not pure parity. They didn't want to stop at parity. So if you play a 360 game on the Xbox One, the game will play in 1080p regardless of whether or not it's been optimized. If you play a 360 game on the Xbox One X, it'll play in 4K. So, and they'll play in the higher frame rates too. So some of that I think varies. Like the original Xbox games will play 60 frames per second. The Xbox 360 games will play at 30 frames per second. But so yeah, your games will not only play on the new platform, but if they're compatible, they'll play on the new platform better than they ever played and better than they ever looked on the original platform, which is pretty friggin' amazing. So Microsoft is not half-assing it at all. They're full-assing it, I guess. So, but yeah, it's kind of neat. Meanwhile, Sony, like, they give us all these mixed signals, like nobody wants to play old games, and then they remaster Shadow of the Colossus for a third time. So clearly they know that people still want to play their old games. They just want to charge you for the privilege. So, which, hey, if they're looking to make the game like Shadow of the Colossus looks, and they want to sell that to me for $20, I'll buy it. I'm not going to pay $50 for it every single cycle, though. That doesn't make any sense. And unfortunately, it looks like Nintendo with the Switch, right? Bayonetta, they're not bringing us Virtual Console with the Wii U version of Bayonetta. They're bringing out a whole new, gotta buy Bayonetta. And it says that it comes with 1 and 2. I can tell you right now, it's probably gonna be Bayonetta 2 on the card with Bayonetta 1 as a download. That's probably what it is, if I had to guess. Oh my goodness.
We should wrap it up because, like I said, I get up early in the morning to work out.
No, Jeremy's coming apart, my friends. So we need to close down this show because his body is like chucking those earphones. So I know Lizzie says boo. I don't know if she's booing because it's the end of the show or because Microsoft, but either way, folks, we really do hope that you have a good Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, we hope that you have some good time with your friends and your family over the weekend. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I think especially in the U.S., a lot of companies shut down or give time off or whatever. So
I'll be working Christmas Day probably.
If you get some time, take some time to play some good games with some people that you care about. Try to find ways that you can kind of help out folks. I don't think you have to celebrate Christmas or even be a Christian in order to do, good things and help people out. So that's my Christmas wish, right? Like go out and improve the world in some way, my friends. So Sports Gamer, Lizzie, Turf, all you other folks, definitely appreciate you watching. So, and we will see you in 2018.
Good night.